So I was speaking to my mother, and we were having a conversation, and I didn't really pay attention to it until we were having this conversation, my mother and I. But my father was always proud of the achievement of his children. And one of the reasons is because all five of his children, minus the sixth child who did not grow up with him, all five of his children were honor roll students, myself included, being the youngest child. And everybody else had a higher GPA than I did, but I had a 3.8. One of my sisters was a valedictorian of her graduating class. She was a school president, did the whole school yearbook and all that type of stuff. And my point for bringing it up is for the women who always have this imaginary discredit of that don't mean you were happy, and that don't mean that this did good, and that don't mean, and that don't mean. See, our women want division as it relates to Black love. And it makes our women happiest in 2020, 1999, 2020. It makes them happy to talk division because they don't want these success stories of couples. Now, wasn't nothing perfect between my father and my mother, and that's the other thing that these 80% of Black women want. They want a perfection storybook type of relationship. They don't want any ups and downs. They feel like any ups and downs is not a success story. And the only success story is where the man does everything the woman wants him to do. That's the only success story they want to hear. Even though my father and my mother had ups and downs, they set the children up for success, which is the whole goal of being together. That's the whole goal of being together. Hold on for a minute. So my mother, that's one thing my father was very proud of. He, the children, we actually did very well. All of us went to different schools, actually. My two older sisters did not go to the same school that my other two sisters went to. And everywhere we went, we were honor roll children. Uh, I used to always tell my mother that's really because of my mom. My mom and my grandmother were very smart women. Their whole thought process was own something, business own. And my grandmother would actually bought the house next door to my mom if my father hadn't have been too fearful and try to lie and say he was going to get it and actually never bought anything. Um, but anyway, I just wanted to give that short thing on how my mother and father as a team benefited the children. And that's the whole point of this video, is that they benefited the children. And a lot of times the single parents are only out to benefit themselves and push the children out to the world at 17 and 18 to fail.